Children of strict parents, what is the most ridiculous rule your parents gave you? I was allowed to choose 2 people to be friends with at the beginning of the school year. If I ever mentioned interacting with anyone other than those 2, I'd get a lecture about friends. My dad didn't really care at first, but then from 17 to 19-ish, anything other than becoming a doctor would mean I was gonna end up in prison and get raped. Dad, can you take me to the store to get a new computer? Keep playing with computers and one day you'll be getting raped in prison. Can we get ice cream? Why do you need ice cream? I like ice cream. Keep doing what you like and you'll get raped in prison. That's one I haven't heard about yet. He didn't threaten you by saying he would harm you himself, but somehow enjoying ice cream will lead to unfolding a specific chain of events that ends with you getting raped in prison? My parents read an article in some stupid magazine that you cannot sit in front of the computer for longer than 45 minutes, so they set a rule that I cannot use the computer every hour from, say, 7:45 to 8:00 every hour. Even if I turned it on at 7:35, I still had to leave the room so they know I am not using the computer at 7:45. Holy sh**, how did I survive? When I was like 15, my parents used to turn the internet off at 10 p.m. when they went to bed by taking the Ethernet adapter into their bedroom, so I bought one off of Amazon and crept downstairs to plug it back in every night after they were asleep. This went on for a while until my mum found it under my bed while tidying my room while I was out. They weren't good with computers, so I changed the password on the router and blacklisted their laptop phones, so they took the router away. After like 2 weeks of no one having internet, they gave up and stopped unplugging it. I definitely wasn't in the right, but at the same time I was never late for school and did all my homework, so I have no idea why they did it. The main issue it created was I'd spend all day inside on the computer talking to my online friends, playing games with them because I knew I wouldn't be able to at night. Not being allowed to wear tie-dye, moody-colored clothes because it was representing the gays. To be fair, I am gay and wearing a tie-dye shirt. I wasn't allowed to go anywhere as a child. My dad was always cool and I'd ask him if I could go to a friend's house or go with my friends somewhere. But my mom was the exact opposite. She'd also get pissed every time my dad gave me permission to go anywhere, so I stopped asking my dad so I wouldn't get him in trouble. She wouldn't even let me go outside in the fenced-in backyard until I was 13. Until I was 17 I never went anywhere with friends. They'd always ask if I wanted to go to nearby restaurant or watch a movie, but I always had to decline because I knew my mom would never let me go. At 14, high school freshman mustered up the courage to ask my mom if I could go with a friend to the movies, and she instantly bombarded me with WHO is it? How old are they? Is it a boy? What if something happens to you? I'd die and all that other guilt-trippy shit. Needless to say, I didn't go. She would made me feel bad for even suggesting I go outside with friends. After a few of these manipulative sessions I gave up, and ever since I've felt scared to ask or tell her I was going anywhere. I'm 21 now and it's gotten a lot easier. But I'm still not allowed to sleep over anywhere or drive at night unless she tells me to. When I was a senior in high school I mustered up the courage again to call her from school and ask if I could walk with my friends 2 blocks to get food. She begrudgingly agreed, but I still felt uneasy the whole walk to the store and back. Luckily nothing bad happened and I've been growing in confidence ever since. Why didn't I rebel like a normal teenager? I was scared shitless of her. She's kicked out my older brother several times whenever he did something she didn't like and she was pissed enough. I always have been terrified of her and I still am today, as I still live with her and she still controls my life. She is a naturally terrifying person and terror and obsession is all I knew from her. Now my younger brother on the other hand is only 18 right now. But he's always been allowed to go out and do whatever he wanted. He was allowed to sleep over at other people's houses and have a girlfriend earlier in life. I always hid my relationships from my mom because I was scared of what she would do. I had no privacy. My parents read through my phone whenever they wanted, which is acceptable to a point, I guess. They were paying for it, looked through my laptop, and even went through my drawers and read any journal or diary that I had. If I got in any trouble they took my bedroom door. I didn't have a bedroom door from the time I was 15 until I moved out at 18. CPS considers the lack of a door as child abuse. Children need privacy to change and other stuff. 15 is far too old for you to risk being walked in on naked. I wasn't allowed to cross the street without an adult until I was 15. If I was going to hang out with friends, my mom would call their parents to make sure that we wouldn't be walking anywhere. so that I wouldn't be crossing streets. At the time I thought it was weird but cute that she worried for me so much. Now it's just incomprehensible to me. I'm 16, and I have a borderline identical rule. However, I also wasn't supposed to be out after 7:00 and I had to tell her if I was going anywhere even if I was already out with friends. I was at someone's house overnight with my friends and we were going to walk one guy home BC. He had to leave early and we felt bad that he'd have to walk alone. I told them I couldn't come with BC. I was suspecting my mom had a tracker on my phone. She had been able to tell where I was multiple times. They told me I should just leave my phone while we walk. After all, it was 11:30 p.m. Why would she ever be awake? I went with them. Shouldn't be a problem. 47 missed calls. When I saw her truck on the way back I genuinely thought I was going to die. We hauled ass behind the house. One of my friends opened the window, we left it cracked and we threw ourselves inside. Thank God it was a one-story building. My friend's mom walked in and we were all asleep. Heist of the century. All children of strict parents know this. You should socialize more. You are always in your room on your computer. Can I go out with friends then? No. Definitely this. My mom is exactly that. We were allowed to have diaries, but we had to let our parents read them if they asked. As a result, we did not keep diaries, because they would always ask to read them. I kept a false diary full of boring shit. They also have a very selective view of privacy. Locking doors meant we were up to no good, and they would routinely barge into us in places like the bathroom. When we told them to get out, they could not understand why we were upset. For the record, mine and my sister's bathroom does not have a lock on it. They also would selectively enforce the rules. Telling was when they were doing something bad or malicious. Tattling was when you told to get them in trouble. Naturally, my sister would do something mean to me, i.e., made an opening night play with very mean things being said about me, and when I told them, I got in trouble for tattling. But when I wrote in my diary the mean things my sister said, she read it and told. It was telling because writing those things is very mean. Crazy. My boyfriend's parents didn't allow us to be alone together in a house for a couple years into our relationship. We were adults and they had this rule. However, we were both away from college, so they didn't have full control. So what did they do? They tracked my boyfriend's phone at night and thus they'd catch him for spending the night at my dorm. That didn't go over too well. So he started leaving his phone at his dorm at night. Same situation. Me and my BF are in college. Both live at home BC. Hey, it's cheaper. In order for BF to come over or I come over to his place, someone needs to be there to supervise. If we're watching a movie together on the couch, they come in and turn the lights all the way on and leave. If we turn them off again, they come in and turn them on. On my computer, I have NetNanny, which either blocks me from entering a site or warns me of the site. For example, if I want to shop a retail place, it warns me of lingerie, swimwear even if I'm only looking at shoes or jewelry. I've been blocked out of things I need. For instance, an online final for being provocative BC. It mentioned half-naked Hawaiian dancers. I am not allowed to take it off my computer BC. My mother is the administrator. Although not the strictest rule by far, the one that affected me the most socially was not being allowed a TV or media until 16/17, and even then it was very basic cable and Disney Channel. I was fascinated by Good Luck Charlie at 18 because it was the first show I'd ever watched. This really affected my relationships and estranged me from the other kids. At 23 I'm still learning about basic A-list celebrities and movies like Godfather and Titanic. The entire entertainment industry feels like Pandora's box. I don't own a TV and haven't for years and love it, but have always said, the time I'll get it back is when I have children. I don't think it's fair to deprive children of the social aspects of joining in conversations at school and being isolated. I have a friend who went through what you did and she's pretty damaged because of it. I love the freedom I have from not having a TV but accept fully that the way society is set up, I would be at risk of ostracizing my children from classmates. Thanks for sharing. This has reinforced my thinking. She didn't let me hang out or associate with anyone who I went to school with. Only people from church who I didn't get along with. What's with that? Did you end up being that perfect Christian she's always wanted? My mom switched to being a Jehovah's Witness when I was around 11 and my siblings were 5. Up until 11 years old I had the best life ever and was outside every day till dark, but once she got baptized it flipped very quickly, unfortunately. I can see such a big difference in my siblings and I since they barely had any friends in the neighborhood because my mom basically deemed them not worthy. Neighborhood friends are always the best. Sucks they don't have those memories.